each and every one of you to our July board meeting. We'd ask that you silence your cell phones. We would stand for a moment of silence and we'd ask Ms. Roberts, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you can know that we've got Ms. Walker and Mr. Kefsky out. That takes us to the approval of the agenda. Would ask you to look over that. We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number C, is approval of the consent agenda. We have two items on there, the June 12 minutes. And then item number 2 is a policy for consideration that we went through at our workshop. So we need a motion to approve those as well.
Separate motion.
Second.
Motion to approve the June 12 minutes and the policies that we're going over, the ones that were put on the consent agenda at Thursday's workshop.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Leakey. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That brings us to item D, the director's report.
First of all, thank you all so much for coming out. Dr. Coleman, the new director of schools, is looking forward to working with you all. So at this time, we're going to have Ms. Foster share with us personnel.
I think the personnel report is attached. I think there's actually the last 2 or 3 are actually recommendations that actually came in either late Friday afternoon or even earlier today. At this moment, we have about 10 vacant teaching positions, and we have probably 12, 13 open support positions. We really have about 6 openings for custodians that we really would like to fill. Of course, we really want to fill all those teaching positions also, but those are what I deem to be the most critical at this point.
Number 2 on there, the monthly recognitions. Want to bring to the board's attention, starting in our August meetings and moving thereafter, each month we're going to be highlighting a school. In addition to that, we're going to give special attention to individual businesses that have been supportive of our school district. And then in addition to that, we're going to have our departments, one department a month to share out so that you all, as the board, will be kept abreast of what's going on in the district. Third item, town hall meetings. One of the things that as new director that I want to do is provide some town hall meetings throughout the course of the school year so that you as our parents, as our stakeholders, as our teachers, as our students even, will be able to come out and we will be sharing information with the community so that you are not caught by surprise on different things that may be coming forth throughout the course of the school year. So that's the desire to start having those. And then on item number 4, Unity on the Yard, this will be a new event. Just like schools have open house events, here at the central office we will have an open house event that will be called Unity on the Yard. And we're planning to have that on July the 27th here at the central office from 2 to 5 o'clock. I met with the committee today as we're looking to see different things that we just want to offer here on the campus. So we will have some, once again, community partners, businesses, food trucks, things of that nature, just so that we will set the tone for the upcoming school year on how we want to partner with our local government as well as our communities. So that's all on the director's report.
All Moving on to new business, item E. Number one is policies to be discussed further. We have 4 policies that we looked at on Thursday night that need some further discussion before we make a vote. So 1.404 is appeals and appearances before the board. And all the policies that we have here are in direct correlation to the change in state law. And 1.404 is no different. Basically, it is a change to our policies and procedures. We discussed this on Thursday night about possibly waiting until to speak with our attorney to see exactly what we have to do. At one point, we were told that our current policy will suffice, but I think since we will be seeing him in a couple of weeks, it may not hurt to push this off until August. If that's the will of the board.
Make a motion that we delay a vote on this one until after we've met with the attorney and table it until the August meeting.
We have a motion by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Lee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Moving on to 3.202 is our emergency preparedness plan. And if memory serves me correct, the items 2 and 3, lines 25 and 27, we didn't know really what an incident command drill was. So, Dr. Hogan, do you have a clue what that is?
Well, in that, working directly with our safety coordinator that we now have, in making sure that every school has protocols in place to meet the needs of our incident command in the event that something were to transpire, that every school knows how to respond, who to respond to, and where to respond. Because there will be locations that will have to be taken into consideration, as well as even dealing with the media during that time.
And I'm assuming the safety coordinator will also be doing emergency safety bus drills, or at least coordinating those?
He will work directly with the transportation director.
Okay.
Is this something that we would do in cooperation with the sheriff's department, like the intruder drills?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We'll work hand in hand directly with the sheriff's department and our SROs.
Did we come up with a clear explanation for what an incident command drill is?
Did you not tell us that the other night? What you will explain it to
Chris,
us?
were you talking
Didn't
about
you
the?
explain it to us the other night?
Yeah, just the basic overview of what the incident command system is.
Yes.
It's standardized response to multi-casualty events and sort of thing, and how local facilities, school systems, et cetera, can all standardize the same thing with each one, and so everyone's on the same page. That way, it's not different over here, and then it happens over here, it's something over here, sort of a unified. Yeah.
Who's the head of it?
Well, it would depend on, yeah, who gets here first, and then, it's go up the chain, depending on experience.
The incident would not necessarily be a school incident, though. It would be elsewhere in the community.
It all sorts of stuff.
Any further discussion? Policy 3.202.
Make a motion that we approve policy 3.202, emergency preparedness plan.
Have a motion by Ms. Roberts,
Second.
second by Ms. Jones. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Moves us on to 6.200, attendance. I think if you get down to page 2, the changes take effect with the progressive truancy plan. Ms. Linda had explained those to us the other night.
That particular, in the blue font there, that's actually in your current policy. It's only on page 3, there's on line 21, I added a word thanks to
Sarah?
Sarah. I added the word which and made that read a whole lot better. And I think the actual change is over on page 4.
Make up for it.
That's right, that's what you really wanted to look at again, and I tried to write in what I thought you wanted it to say, but certainly this can be edited much further. On page 3, lines 11 through 15. Back down, whoever, I forgot who was,
Page 4.
thank you. Yeah.
Page 4, yeah.
Page 4, I'm sorry.
Teachers are to encourage students to complete the missed classwork and tests. Students are to submit the missed work within 5 days of their return. Is the
I
new
thought
language.
that's what you actually talked about, but you did say you wanted to discuss it further, so that's my attempt to draft.
I think one addition to that, I think we said was 5 school days.
Okay?
But that's what I recall from our discussion Thursday,
Okay.
was the term immediately was
Good.
pretty subjective. I think we said 5 school days. Yeah.
That was what has been done in the past with the 5 school days, but
That's fine.
is that enough?
That would be my question. Do we need a little bit of gray area in that? Because every child's absence has its own reason that may or may not be conducive to turning in work within 5 days. I don't know if we could add some kind of qualifier about 5 school days or amount of time agreed upon with the instructor.
These can.
I'd be okay with that. You know, the purpose of putting the 5 days in there, just so that the student didn't wait until the end of the grading period and dump 9 assignments on the teacher the last night before.
And they do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
So I would be okay with saying 5 school days unless approved by.
Extenuating
Yeah.
circumstance.
Yeah, it's approved by their teacher. That 5 days was definitely teachers.
So we want to work on that just a little bit.
I
bring it
can,
back.
I certainly can. That's not a problem.
I just want to be fair to the students. You know, they've been out for 2 weeks because they had surgery or something that may not be well enough to work some time around.
And you can
Let me work on it
bring
again, I'll
that
bring it
to
back
us.
next month, no problem.
So that brings us to item number 4, the 6.319, alternative education. The strikeout of line 5 and 6 was probably why we have such a crowd here tonight, right? Let's look over that, see if you've got any questions, comments. We'll certainly discuss it.
Do we have enough information? Have we investigated far enough in advance to be able to make a decision like this evening?
I don't think so. I think this one needs to be deferred.
Well, we can have, there's 2 options. There is another change in here, on page 2. Line 5, the location is different site safety for the students or staff there. Then the transition plan on line 31, back to regular school. So there are a couple more changes, but basically we have a couple options. We can table this until we feel like we have more information, or we can pass it with the lines, the strikeout removed. It's totally up to the order.
Would you entertain a motion?
Sure.
So I want to make a motion that we approve it with the strikeout removed to include that language and then adopt the changes in red that is on the second page.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Cole. Do we have a second?
Could you repeat that, please?
So the-
I think I'm confused.
The motion is to approve the policy, but in the second paragraph, what was the strike-through, to remove the strike-through. In other words, to include the language, the alternative school is located in a separate facility from the regular school program.
So we leave that statement in the policy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that's essentially unchanged.
It is unchanged. Yes, that part is
That
unchanged. So there's still a change in red on page number 2.
So Mr. Cole made a motion. Do we have a second?
What's on the, how does that impact the second page? I just want to make sure we're getting it.
This was the offense of violence was threatened. I think Ms. Linda was explaining that to us.
This is the state law, the change in the state law that said that a student can have different alternative education other than being placed at the alternative school if, that second bullet, if the offense is violence or threatened violence, or an offense that threatens the safety of other students or staff at the school, if the location is a different site and the safety of the students or staff there. If the student is assigned to a different school and at an alternative school, as it was last year, let's say, and it's deemed that that child is a threat to the other students there, then that child's educational needs can be met in a different way rather than being placed at the alternative school. That's the purpose of the red at the top of page 2.
This has nothing to do with lines 5 and 6.
No, nothing at all.
Page 1.
So, did I state that
That's correct.
clearly?
That's correct.
So, Dr. Holman, will there be, like you had mentioned the other night, there won't be kids vaping sent there or kids dress code, is that right?
So what we'll do is really look at establishing a protocol that's very clear and consistent across the district, so that those students that need to be at the off-campus alternative school are the ones that are going to the off-campus alternative school.
Okay, so there'll be somewhere else to go. Okay, you know, you said the other night we were not gonna put vaping, kids caught vaping or dress code.
Now, for example, when you're looking at disciplines, when you have an alternative school, you most definitely want to make sure that your alternative school are those for those students who are those severe type things, dress code, cell phones, those types of things. We have to be proactive in our schools to see what we can do rather than taking those seats for the alternative school, because there are children who are violating THC, things of that nature, that most definitely need to be at the alternative school.
All right, so again, we've got Mr. Cole making a motion. I'll second. So we have a motion, have a second. All those in favor of leaving lines 5 and 6 in the alternative education, 6.319, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No opposition? The ayes have it. So that moves us on to item number 2 on your business, the July 2023 finance report.
We do not have the actual reports for June completed yet. I can tell you so far, we have collected 98% of the county property tax. That does not include anything collected for the month of June, so that's good. We've collected over 100% of the sales tax. And again, we are 2 months behind on sales tax, so that is excellent. However, sales tax has flattened out. So when you look at May of 22 compared to May of 23, we're down about $40,000 countywide. So I think we've kind of plateaued and might be on the downside. We're still doing good. Our property tax has actually increased while our sales tax decreases. So we will hopefully next meeting have those final numbers. Everything looks good. I feel like we ended the year good. So we don't have any problems with anything. I do have 3 budget amendments that are before you. That first one, this is a grant that Jessie Shehana with Coalition. She was actually awarded this right at the end of June. We were out of meetings. This is 100% grant in and out money. So this is simply, it has to go through county commission. We want to make sure she has that money to spend.
It looked like these were, all 3 of these amendments were pretty much just like that.
Yes. This were some unanticipated payrolls that just were simply not in this year's budget for whatever reason that need to get approval. And then, of course, the federal projects budgets have started being approved by the state. So far, this is the first one that we've had approved. This is one of Toby Gwynn's special ed grants.
All right, well, we would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve July budget amendment number 1 and number 2, and the federal project budget amendment.
Motion by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Schultz. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Moving on to item 3, school insurance certificates.
This is just housekeeping. These are just for, to receive and file for the fiscal year 24 various liability insurances.
All right. You've heard Jeannie's explanation of these. Would you entertain a motion?
Motion to approve. School insurance certificate.
Motion to approve with Ms. Leakey, second by Mr. Cole. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, petty cash requests. We've got 3 petty cash requests from North, South, and FC. North and South are both 2,000. FC's was a little bit more.
Motion to approve petty cash requests from North, FCHS, and South.
Motion to approve by Ms. Roberts. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lee. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, outstanding list of unpaid obligations. We've got two items here, FCHS and then North Middle School.
To be honest, I didn't know what those were.
Well, we see them every year, and I think a lot of it's just cleanup.
Yes, these looks like they're outstanding purchase orders that will be paid out of fiscal year 23 funds. They just don't have the invoices yet.
So we bought it last year, but the invoice hadn't come. It'll be
Correct.
paid out of this year's
Yes,
budget.
it's that, well, it'll actually be out of last year's budget.
We just
So
don't have the
they
invoice.
have it obligated, they just don't have the merchandise, and they haven't paid the invoices yet, so.
We entertain a motion. Motion to approve by Ms. Jones. Second by Ms. Schultz. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Lastly is the 23-24 Code of Conduct for Franklin County Schools. It's got a little girth to it, 40 pages. So, we like our paper. So, if you look down, there's really not that many changes. Article 3.3 and Article 3.4 deal with students. Not huge changes to the dress code. Cell phones. Little bit of change.
Mr. Williams, when Hal was scrolling down through there, you made You approved a change on the dress code last Thursday, they went on consent. I need to update that dress code before I post it on the website, and I'll do that. That's in regard to the hoodies, you remember? And this was already loaded before that change was made, so I will make that correction before it is loaded officially for the students and their parents.
And the hoodies, they could be worn, just not with the hood up.
That outerwear with hoods will be allowed. Students just can't wear the hoods in the building on their head.
Right.
And it would be up in the first 2 or 3 items in the dress code to make sure it's very obvious to everybody that there was a change there. But I will make that change.
Disciplinary sanctions, page 14, section 5, followed by the corporal punishment update. No longer allowed in Franklin County schools. Computer and internet for and then everyone's favorite, Article 2.2 is testing. Assessments. Sorry, Article 22.2, assessments. So this tells us everything that kids, every test that kids have to take. So that's pretty much the changes in a nutshell.
Motion to approve the code of conduct once Ms. Foster updates the
I'll fix
portion.
that. I'll fix that.
Motion approved by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to item F, schedule of meetings. We know we have the TSBA Summer Law in Gatlinburg in a couple of weeks. Next week. So, then our regular board meeting on August 7th. Any questions or comments, anything anybody has before we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Ms. Lee,
Second.
second by Ms. Jones. We are adjourned.